Hello and welcome to the Coloring Collective. Today we are going to color this succulent here with the little giraffe, and then you've got the house down here inside the roots of the tree. Let's go ahead and gather up our supplies. We'll be coloring today from the Johanna Basford Magical Worlds coloring book. I like to use the Castle Arts colored pencils, the Soft Touch, and I've got a set of 120. It's also nice to have an eraser and a pencil sharpener handy. Aubergine 028. I'm going to start right here in the middle of this flower just by coloring the outside, and then the inside I'll do just very pale. And it looks like these two flowers might be the same right next to each other, so I think I'll color these the same color scheme. And then again, go a little lighter in the middle. And I like this color for one more flower on here. Let's do this one. Now just the outside will do with this dark purple. And they kind of go around in a circular pattern. So I'm just coloring in a half, like a little half moon shape. Not going all the way around. There we go, like that. Press a little hard on the edges and then get lighter as you go round. That one only has a little bit of the petal showing. And then same with the very middle piece, just part of it. And it looks like this flower up here is about the same. I'm going to go ahead and use this same method all the way around very carefully. Just coloring a little part of the petal and then gradually getting a little lighter so I have something to blend it with, blend the next color with. These outside petals get much larger, so we can color a little more ground on there. Cherry 027. I'm going to use this for these little pieces sticking up of the side here. Nice dark red color. And it looks like there's a couple more down here. Keep them all the same color. Leaf green 111. This is the color I'm going to use for the other half of these purple petals. And if you've ever looked closely at some succulents, you notice that they have a little bit of purple on the edges sometimes, and then usually a very, very intense green color for the rest of the plant. So I thought this might be a nice complement to the purple. I'm just going around using a circular motion to help blend the green and purple together. This is really looking good, where only half of the petal is purple. It's really coming out well and looking good with this bright green contrast. Purple Lake 091. This seems like a nice color to go with the petals on here. And I'm just coming down about halfway, so I'm only coloring the outside. And I'm going to pick a lighter color for the inside. think I'll also use this over here. But I'm going to do the opposite, and I'm going to start in the middle of the flower and work my way out. And same with this one. This seems like a good purple flower. And I'm just using a little zigzag motion here. Or I think these are all the same actually. Let's use this over here too. All three of these flowers seem to be the same, so I'll have them all match. Mauve Deep 090. This is a nice dark color that I'm going to use for the bottom half of these petals here. So just real carefully go around the whole flower, coloring in each one. I think I'll also use this over here for this big flower. I'm just going to come down the center like this and around here. Just a little bit like that. Basically just using the little guidelines that are already there, like these little dotted lines, and follow along. Maybe one more right here, just down the center. I like to use a lot of the same colors repeating throughout a page, because then it looks like it all came from the same family. And so since these are all flowers, it's nice for them to look like they all belong together. Mauve 093. I think this is a nice color for this flower right here. I'll just use it on the outside and then on those other three matching flowers. And I'm pressing pretty hard with the pencil because I want this to come across nice and solid and have a nice glossy effect. And if you really want, you could come back with the other lavender that we used and blend it a little bit more, but I think this is doing just a really good job. And we got one more flower here to match these others. Lavender Light 035. I'm going to use this right here for this other flower. This seems to be one of a kind in this bouquet. It doesn't look like there's another one that looks like this with these pointy leaves and stuff. So I'm just going to come through here, and I might use the same color again on another flower. How about right here on this little center part, and here on this little center part. And then come over to this one and get the outside of these as well. And since some of these petals seem to be underneath the other ones, maybe I'll come in with a little bit of a darker color, sort of give it a shadow of what the petal would have from the petal in front of it. I'll go ahead and finish up with this color and come back with a different color. And maybe do this little part here. Purple Lake 091. So I'm going to carefully come around here and just color along where that petal is. So it looks like it's behind the other one. Cherry 027. This seems like a nice color to use for the outside of these petals here. But I'm just going to come around halfway. Because again, I think I'm going to come in with another green and do something fun and blend it. So just start out pressing kind of hard, and then go like that, and then I'll do the same here but in the opposite direction. And then for this little row, I'm just going to do a whole part like that. And same with the middle. Just like that. Not too big. Leaf green middle 060. I'm going to do the same like I did earlier, but this shade is a little bit darker than the other leaf green. So very carefully just color in the remaining part. And the last part there. Cherry Pink 032. I think I'll use this back here for this flower. And I'm going to come out in like a little bit of a zigzag motion here. Just the center of the flower. And same back here. Just get the very center, about halfway up the petal. That's big one. And this one here, I think I'll just get these little bitty lines on this very center. It almost looks like a sunflower. Opera Rose 081. Can't color a page full of flowers without having a color on there that's named Rose. I think this works out great. So we'll use this here on this flower and the same flower here. These two complement each other very nicely. And I'm also going to use it down here to finish up with the little purple. And in here also. Color the whole center of this flower. Hyper Pink 031. I'm going to use this for the center of these flowers here, but just come down the petal a little bit, kind of accentuating that line that's there. And then I'm going to color in a lot lighter so I can blend it with the other color. So press pretty hard down the center and at the bottom, and then a lot lighter right here. Azalea Pink 082. I'm going to use this for the edge of these petals here. Come through with a nice circular motion, blending with the other pink. This is a nice light pink, the color of azaleas. And I think I'm going to use this over here as well. And I'm just going to come halfway up and stay to the side of this petal here. Kind of like it's a shadow of another color there. This is really tiny. And actually I'm going to just really lightly press and color in the remaining part of this flower just to show another really light azalea shade. And even the center. There we go. That looks good. Lemon Yellow 005. This is a nice bright yellow color, which is perfect for the center of these flowers. Naples Yellow 008. This one's just a little more orangey, so I'll use it here on these two flowers. Castle Greenlight 059. Looks like we're just about done with all of the flower petals. I'm going to come in and start on some of these leaves. So I'm only coloring half this leaf here, and I will pick a different color for the other half. I think I'll come over here and do these as well. And maybe get these also. Castle Green Deep 057. Since that was the Castle Green Light, I jumped the middle and went straight to the deep color, and I'm just nicely blending this here. Very carefully, take your time. And I'm just going to do these 3 leaves and then jump over to the other side of the page. Let's see. I'll get these right here. And I think I'll use this for some of these smaller leaves. Be really careful not to go out of the lines here. You can use a lot of different shades of green on here to show the different varieties in plants. And I'm also going to color in here with this. So the giraffe is eating a little bit of that leaf. And get some of this grass. I'll just do every other blade. I don't want it to be too matching, too much. Leaf green 111. It's a nice bright complement to the color we just used. Get really careful in here because it does get very small. Now I'm going to skip these leaves and come up here and color the other half of these. It's a nice bright color. I think I'll also come here and get this part. Again, I'm just doing half of this leaf, not the whole thing. And down here as well. I think I'll just do the outside. Sap green 113. This is a nice mossy green color. I think it makes a good complement to the light green that we just used. So I'm going to come around and finish up these leaves. And I'll use it on these. Again, I'm just coloring half of the leaf. Here we go. I'll use it right here. Not done yet. I'll use it up here too, on these little ones. Okay, that looks good. Green gold 076. I'm going to use this for half of this here. This color really is exactly as it's titled. It's a little green and it's a little gold, but it looks nice as a plant color. And I think I'll use it up here also. think I missed that. It's supposed to be that color. Yep, the castle green light. That's what this was, I think. Permanent green 110. I'm going to use this for half here and here, and then another couple of more that I will finish off. Right here with the green gold, and here. And I think I'm going to pick a nice light green for the background. In between all these flower petals and things, there's a little space, and I don't really want to just keep it white. So I'll pick something. Actually, this looks a little better with that. Need the eraser there. Leaf green 111. I'm going to come back with this color and just fill in a lot of this space around the tree or in the middle of the tree. Oh, I get these two also. And I think that's everything. So really, really lightly, I'm just going to come into this space like this, and here, and here, and just carefully fill it in with this green color to sort of represent the green that's behind it all. Oh, I missed another leaf there. You don't have to press too hard, just really light. Just being very careful to fill in just this spot and not the tree branches and stuff. So like right between all these petals, it's so tiny, but it just makes a nice difference that you can see all the green coming through. Oh, and one more spot right here. And if you really wanted, you could grab your pencils and do a whole big circle around the outside. That usually isn't too bad. You could even come in with another marker. Let me erase this little spot that I've got. Peach 018. I think this will be a nice color for this tree here. And I'm just going to do like every other stripe. And then down here, since the trunk gets a little bit bigger, I'm just going to do halfway across and pick a different color for the other half. Maybe get a little light right here so I can blend it, and then press harder as I come over to the side. very light across here and then press a little bit darker over here. Tangerine 020. This is a nice complement to the peach. So I'm going to come in just on these stripes here where it's only colored halfway across and color the rest. And then come up about halfway where it's blended and make sure you're pressing pretty hard with the pencil. And now I'll use this for the other part of these branches. I'm just coloring halfway. Because I'm going to use a really light yellow color to show the other part of these stripes here. So I'm pressing pretty hard along here and then getting lighter and lighter as I go across. Just down the center of the tree here. Cadmium Yellow Deep 075. Oh, this looks great for the other part of this tree here. Come all the way across, blending it with the tangerine. And this gives this tree a lot more three-dimensionality. It really looks like there's a shadow and that some of these branches really are branching out from each other. One's in front of the other and stuff like that. Cadmium Orange Light 074. This is a good color for this giraffe. He's very, very tiny. So make sure your pencil is sharp and you're being really careful. So I'm just coloring the body of this giraffe. And the legs. And then the spots will be a different color, a little bit darker brown. Very carefully get around all these little spots. And the tail. And maybe the ears. Yellow Ochre 077. And I'll use this for the spots. It's a nice light brown or dark yellow. Makes a really good complement for the giraffe here. And I'm going to keep the yellow ochre I'm going to color this little part right here for the top of this jar. So in the very middle, I'm going to make sure I press pretty hard and then get a little lighter as I move outward. Cinnamon 012. This makes a good color complement to the yellow. So I'm going to blend it right like this and then push pretty hard on the edges. Now I'm going to keep the cinnamon and do the same where I color the middle. Pretty big space here. So start out really light and then more toward the middle, get a little darker. Brown Ochre 115. This is a good color, which I think I'll keep for the rest of the jar there. It's a nice complement to the cinnamon. And of course the yellow ochre and brown ochre get along because they're about in the same family. So come right over here, start out light. And then press a little bit harder as you get toward the edge where all the blank space is. And along this edge, we'll also use the brown ochre. So I'm starting out really light because I'm going to probably mix in another color in here. Just go up to this little dotted line area. And then down toward the bottom, I'll press a little bit harder. And then about medium right here. It's a nice big space to fill here. So press a little harder as you go further down to the bottom of this jar. Yellow Ochre Light 010. I'm going to come in around the edge of this little terracotta pot and along the top, and just blend it with all the brown that I just colored. I'm also going to use this for some of the stripes down here, kind of representing the bottom of the pot. Cinnamon 012. I'm going to fill in right here with the cinnamon so it matches the top of it. Make sure you press pretty hard so it really shows up nice. And then I'm also going to use this for the background of the pot where the little house is sitting. So all this space here, just press really light. Come around the chimney. And then I think instead of coloring this house in shades of browns or grays, I think I will revisit a lot of the colors that I used in the flowers. So it looks like the flowers are growing out of the house, and maybe the house is the roots of the flowers. So very carefully color around the rooftop here. And then we'll switch back over to purples and pinks and greens. Aubergine 028. This is a nice color. I think I'll use it for the rooftop. I'm just going to press pretty hard on the edges and get a little lighter as I come toward the middle. And same on this side of the roof. Press a little harder and then get lighter as I come toward the middle. And I'll do that on this one. Just about each of the roofs, so you really have that nice effect. Mauve Deep 090. I'm going to use this on the rest of the house here. Doing the same thing but in reverse. I'll push pretty hard in the middle and then lighter as I get to the edges. I really blend it up with the aubergine. Peach 018. This is a good color for the walls. Since the bark of the tree was peach and tangerine, I think I'll follow the same color scheme for the walls of the house. So I'm just going to come up about halfway. And then come back here and do these walls. Press a little bit harder on the bottom, and then about halfway up, press really, really light. Oh, it looks like I missed a little bit of the background with the cinnamon. I'll have to come back in and get that. Careful around the chimney. One more wall. Get here and here. Whoops. Let's come back with the cinnamon and get right in there. Tangerine 020. And this will make up the rest of the walls. It's a nice bright orange color. It's a good complement to the peach. I'm just going to finish coloring all the rest of the walls. We've got one more little roof to finish. I'll pick a different color for that rooftop. Sap Green 113. This is a good color for the rest of the rooftops here. I'm just going to come in about halfway across and then press a little bit harder toward the back side. And I'll get the eaves here too. That little part there. And this one. I might also make this chimney green. Just half of it though. And then the other half I'll do in the light green. Leaf Green Middle 060. This is a good complement for the other half of the green. It's nice and bright and it'll look really good. Purple Lake 091. This will be a nice color for the front door. Careful not to color in the doorknob. And then come back really light. And also get this other chimney here. And this roof line. And it looks like all that's left are the windows. Brilliant Yellow 009. This makes a nice, soft, glowing color for the windows here. Gonna go ahead and color in all of them. And I might come back with a little bit of an orange color for the bottom half. Give it a little more of a glow. Orange Lake 016. So just really carefully start at the bottom of the windows here, and then you're going to gradually get lighter as you come about halfway up. So we'll do the same thing here and then gradually get a little lighter. Oh, some of these windows are tiny. Thank you very much for coloring along with me. I hope you had as much fun as I did, and I'll see you next time.